Please help me to reach 500 subscribers. Sometimes the deepest wounds we leave aren't on ourselves, they're on the ones who loved us most. This is the story of a woman who broke the heart of the man who gave her everything, and only realized the weight of her choices when it was far too late. I never imagined I could become the villain in someone else's life. Yet here I am, staring at my reflection, barely recognizing the woman who destroyed the man who loved her unconditionally. It all began 2 years ago when I met Ryan. He wasn't just a boyfriend, he was home. He noticed the tiniest details, how I take my coffee, my fear of driving at night, the way I fidget when I'm anxious. We spoke of marriage, maybe children one day, but mostly we were just us, and that felt perfect until it wasn't. I can't recall the exact moment my devotion began to waver. Perhaps it was the late nights at work, or the ease with which Ryan trusted me. Or maybe it was the thrill of attention from someone new, Evan, a coworker with a dangerous charm and an effortless smile. At first it was harmless. Coffee breaks, inside jokes, casual messages. But soon, it became something I couldn't ignore. The first lie came like a whisper. I told Ryan I was working late when in truth I was sitting in Evan's car, laughing at something trivial, his hand brushing against mine. It was fleeting, but it set off a chain reaction I could no longer control. Ryan never suspected a thing. That trust, the very thing that should have protected him, made my betrayal feel even heavier. Every time I returned home late, Ryan smiled, concerned only about my fatigue. When I withdrew, he blamed himself, thinking he wasn't enough. And I convinced myself I could have both, Ryan as my safe harbor, Evan as a thrilling escape. But playing with fire always leaves burns. The tipping point arrived one morning. Ryan had gone out for coffee, and a message from Evan lit up my phone, a harmless photo of us laughing the night before. Ryan walked in as I stared at it, and the look in his eyes shattered me, hollow, broken, betrayed. "Who's Evan?" he asked softly. I stammered through excuses, but he saw everything in my trembling hands, my guilty gaze. "How long?" he whispered, and the weight of that question crushed me. I confessed everything, the lies, the stolen moments, the betrayals I had buried. Ryan didn't yell. He didn't cry. He simply nodded, turned, and left. I chased him, begged, sobbed, but he never looked back. The silence that followed was sharper than any scream. 4 days I called, texted, and even showed up at his apartment, but he didn't respond. When I finally saw him at work, collecting some belongings, he was hollow. "You could have just told me you weren't happy. I would have let you go. But you didn't have to destroy me to find yourself." I realized then the full extent of what I'd done. I hadn't simply cheated, I had shattered the foundation of his trust, the faith he had placed in love itself. 6 months later, I still see Ryan occasionally in stores or on the street. He doesn't look at me, doesn't even hate me. He just sees a stranger, and that absence stings far more than anger ever could. Evan is gone. It was never love, just a spark that burned bright and then vanished. All that remains are the ruins of what I threw away. I write this not for forgiveness, I don't deserve it, but to acknowledge the damage I caused. Ryan deserves more than my regret or my broken apologies. He deserves someone who will never take his love for granted, someone who will cherish him instead of discarding him for a momentary thrill. Sometimes I ache to tell him I'm sorry once more. But some wounds are permanent. If I could turn back time, I would. I would guard what we had, treasure him, and love him fully. But life gives no rewinds, only the remnants of mistakes. My mistake was believing his love was unbreakable. Love is fragile, and betrayal leaves scars that time cannot erase. This confession is harsh, but it is a warning. The smallest betrayal can destroy the most precious love if we stop appreciating it. Please help me to reach 500 subscribers.